A child that is given the opportunity to acquire formal education is on the way to being an asset to the society. This is why governments at all levels have continued to invest in the future through provision of qualitative education to its citizenry. In Ogun State, Nigeria, the efforts of the administration of Senator Ibikunle Amosun, the educational sector in the past 3 years have been geared towards giving a solid foundation to residents of the state. These efforts have been sustained and even improved upon so that they have become part of a system. This system is working to the benefit of all in the education sector. The administration of Senator Ibikunle Amosun is committed to achieving the objectives of the 5 cardinal points of his administration's agenda. Education tops the list. Thus, in order to ensure that education is indeed of the Ogun standard, the governor has remained faithful in investing in the future through various projects and developmental steps taken to aid and create a worthy learning environment for pupils and students in Ogun State. Initial strides in this area include renovation and rehabilitation of dilapidated classrooms, as well as the implementation of the free education policy. The state government is also living up to its promise of providing free textbooks and instructional materials to pupils and students of the state-owned schools. This is in addition to the payment of bursary to the tune of over 120 million naira to indigents of Ogun State in higher institutions of learning across the country in the past 3 years. The Commissioner for Education, during the 2014 ministerial briefing with journalists, explains other initiatives and achievements recorded in the educational sector in the past 3 years of this administration.
Prior to this time, the student used to pay 500 naira per term, but now government has been footing that unified system in both the secondary school and primary school through the SUBEB.
The administration has also continued to pay registration fees for the West African Examination Certificate for final year secondary school students, up to the tune of about 4 billion naira. This, on its own part, has also yielded positive results, as the students' participation in national events, including the centenary celebration, has been marked by excellence.
2013 Annual National NNPC Science Quiz Competition. You'll see that we came first at the zonal level, and at the national level, the state came second.
The training and retraining of teachers in the last 3 years has contributed to providing qualitative education in Ogun State. This training of teachers and promotion, as at when due, has remained consistent in the agenda of this administration. The result is the maintenance of best practices in government-owned schools. Another giant stride of this government in the education sector is the construction of 28 new model schools across the state. The basis for these schools is to create a new learning environment that will facilitate 21st century teaching and learning. The construction of these model schools is one of the efforts by the Senator Ibikunle Amosun administration to meet up with the Millennium Development Goal number 2 of achieving universal primary education by the year 2015. The Special Advisor to the Governor on Education, Dr. Tunji Abimbola, speaks more on the motive behind the construction of these schools.
We started looking at what happens in our private schools, what are the good things that they're doing, and why are their children achieving so highly. And we found that in addition to having good teachers, which is part of what we have been doing over the past 2.5 years, it is also critical to revisit the infrastructure within our secondary school estate and the primary school, of course. And part of that is the refurbishment and the renovation that is ongoing, but also the development of new schools, secondary schools. And that's where the model schools come into play.
Recruitment into these model schools is also being tailored towards engaging teachers with excellent credentials.
We will have to recruit, and the recruiting means that we have to set exams for people, and it will be open to even our current teachers. But once we set the exams, then we go through an interview process. And once we go through the interview process, we then have to go through proper training to ensure that they are able to. So all the processes that will allow us to start the school or the schools in September are now being put in place to ensure that we do not lag behind the infrastructural development.
Since the government embarked on the construction of the model schools, efforts have been put in place to ensure that the September 2014 resumption date for the schools becomes a reality. Work on 15 of these schools have reached an advanced stage. Another initiative of the administration towards providing affordable and qualitative education for its people is the introduction of unified examination in all state government-owned primary and secondary schools. The aim of this examination is to ensure uniformity in the school curriculum. This initiative on its own has recorded a high level of success, as students in Ogun State have continued to stand out compared to their counterparts in other states of the country. The state government has also strengthened the Inspectorate Division of the Ministry of Education to facilitate effective supervision and monitoring of schools' activities, as well as the conduct of exams in all schools in the state. This is also to ensure that the education of students is not left in the hands of the teachers and the social administrators alone. One of the responsibilities of this inspectorate team is to ensure regular monitoring of both the terminal examinations as well as the external examinations of these schools. The Commissioner for Education, during an inspection of the 2014 third-term promotional exams across the state, spoke on the conduct of the inspection of the exams.
My assessment is that everything is going on well. At least we've been to several schools, and we're happy that all the papers, they commenced on time. And we can see here, this is another school where they've started the second paper, and they started exactly 10:45. And of course, I would say that we're really satisfied. At least so far, so good.
The Ogun State government is also leaving no stone unturned in reviving vocational and technical education. That is why the free education policy was extended to technical colleges and vocational centers across the 3 senatorial districts of the state. These colleges are duly approved by the National Board for Technical Education, NBTE. Still in line with promoting technical education, the administration of Senator Ibikunle Amosun on Thursday, the 19th of June 2014, hosted the first Ogun State Technical and Vocational Education Stakeholders Forum. The venue was the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library Auditorium. The aim was to revive all technical schools in the state, which had been abandoned for over 20 years through the involvement of private stakeholders. In his address, Governor Ibikunle Amosun, who was represented by the Chief of Staff, Professor Ganiu Olatunji, described the technical and vocational education sector as one of such several steps of government taken in providing and creating employment for youth in the state. He also said that the essence of organizing such an event was a call for the involvement of well-meaning citizens, philanthropists, small and medium-scale entrepreneurs, and all related stakeholders in the funding of technical and vocational education.
As the labor market becomes more specialized and economies demand higher level of skills, government and businesses must increasingly invest in the future of technical and vocational education through publicly funded training organizations and subsidized apprenticeship and traineeship initiatives for businesses.
In her welcome address, the chairman of the Ogun State Technical and Vocational Education Board, Mrs. Doyin Ogumbiyi, spoke on the importance of involving stakeholders in technical education and the turnout of the stakeholders.
I am highly impressed with the response of our target audience, our direct stakeholders. The people that we really need for this event are here. You can see that the hall was jam-packed, cut across trade groups, cut across industries, cut across finance houses, cut across even the generality of the people. I think we have seen the outcome of our effort in mobilizing and in even sensitizing the people about the board and the vision of the state in technical and vocational education.
Highlight of the event was an exhibition by students of vocational schools in Ogun State. Governor Ibikunle Amosun has also taken steps to ensure that all aspects of education in Ogun State are of Ogun standard. This is evident through the reconstruction, renovation and refurbishment of the dilapidated structures at the Social Development Institute, Ikperuremo. The institute, which was an eyesore when the governor visited in June 2013, has since been renovated. Renovation of the hostels, lecture halls, toilets, boreholes and provision of other facilities are some of the immediate measures taken by this administration in providing a conducive environment for learning for students. With the level of renovation reaching an advanced stage and its environment now wearing a new look, students of the school have begun to enjoy the newly installed facilities. All these efforts of the Governor Ibikunle Amosun-led administration are geared towards bringing back the lost glory of education in the state and also ensuring that it indeed does conform with the Ogun standard. There is no arguing the fact that the vision of Senator Ibikunle Amosun to reposition education is on the right track. Stakeholders have continued to commend the efforts and steps taken by this government in providing quality education to the people of Ogun State.
They are in the good direction. They are sensitizing our youth to be technically oriented. And now that we are having many industries in Ogun State, we need staffs, technical staffs, to power those industries, to work in those industries. And if we have many of them in the technical sectors developed, they will be suitable to be employed in many of these big and multinational industries.
Well, government will lead, be in the front. But I must confess to you, that was why I said there are 5 key stakeholders in the reform of TVET, that's Technical and Vocational Education. And the very, very important one is the industry private sector. Because the industry private sectors, they are the users of these young boys and girls that graduate from technical colleges. So there must be considerable investment too from the industry, from private sector. They must come in terms of enhancing curriculum. They must come in supporting with equipment and tools. They must come in terms of certification. So it's not all government. So the private sectors must come in. The communities must come in. Even the parents too. We are all stakeholders in this particular reform.
But the teachers and students who are the direct beneficiaries of the rapid development being witnessed in the educational sector, they agree that the Amosun administration is worthy of being appreciated.
He made good his promises, came around, and when he saw it, when he came around, he felt so disappointed in what he saw. He said he was not happy, and there and then he made a promise that he was going to transform this school to Ogun standard. So many people thought, well, it's one of those promises. But to God be the glory. What are we seeing now? We are seeing the promises brought to reality. So I want to use this opportunity to thank the Executive Governor of Ogun State, His Excellency Ibikunle Amosun, for the magnanimity of reviving this place.
He talked about free education, and he has started doing it when he came on board. This has afforded the students of poor homes the quality education in the state, because many of them wouldn't have come to school. When he came on board, we had increase in population, because some that have gone to learn trades came back to school because of the free education program.
The education aspect of it, he has also performed very well, because like the issue of the salaries of teachers, he has been very regular in payment. As touching even the conduct of the examination, it has improved tremendously compared to what we have in the past.
Some of the teachers who have benefited from the various promotions and trainings speak on the consistency of the program.
And on the side of the teachers as well, I think the welfare is also paramount to his heart. We recently approved the payment of 27.5% for the teachers, and we have that heart of appreciation for him to that. We really appreciate him.
Up till today, the salaries and the allowances of teachers have been paid up to date.
The principal of the newly renovated Social Development Institute, Ikberuremo, Mr. Adebayo Olusegun, as well as students of the institute, spoke on the transformation going on in the school.
Our governor came last year even for on-the-spot assessment of the facilities in this school. And on coming here, he said openly that he's not happy about what he saw. He's not happy about the unwanted abandonment of this place. Based on that, he made a promise that we'll definitely come back and do something to make sure that the legacy of our forefather, especially the legacy of Chief Obafemi Awolowo, did not go into dilapidation. So, and as a governor that is in place to better the life of people, he came back to renovate the structure. And what you can see, according to what our governor, Senator Ibikunle Amosun FCA, what he said, this is the first phase of the renovation. And to be sincere, the renovation was done perfectly.
First of all, I want to use this opportunity officially to appreciate His Excellency, the Governor of Ogun State, Senator Ibikunle Amosun, for the renovations that have taken place here in my own institute, the Social Development Institute. In the past years, there has never been any kind of renovation like this before. The school has lasted for several years, and we have been hoping and praying for change to come. And we are so happy that in his tenure, in his time, that this change has finally come.
The governor of Ogun State, Senator Ibikunle Amosun, has emphasized on the need for peaceful coexistence between followers of the two major religions in Nigeria as the only way to attaining peace in the country. Speaking during the 2014 Ramadan lecture held at Arcade Ground of the State Secretariat, Okemoso, in Abeokuta on Saturday, 15 July 2014, the governor said good governance is the solution to the many crises bedeviling the country. He said the theme of the program, Islam, the Ummah and the national challenges, was apt considering the important role religion could play in resolving the nation's problems.
Àwa tá a jẹ́ tá a ń ṣe ìjọba, ó yẹ ká mọ̀ wípé tí a bá ṣèjọba dáadáa, Olúwa pàápàá ò nífẹ̀ẹ́ sírú àwọn èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀. Tá a bá ṣèjọba dáadáa, àìṣèjọba dáadáa ló ń fa gbogbo wàhálà tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wa ní gbogbo orílẹ̀-èdè wa àti ní gbogbo àwọn ìpínlẹ̀ wa kọ̀ọ̀kan.
The governor, who also used the opportunity to appreciate the people for their support and prayers, assured them that his administration will not take their support for granted, while noting that the various projects embarked upon by his administration in the state is for the growth of the state and better future for the youths of Ogun State. Earlier in their lectures, the guest lecturers Professor Awalu Yadudu, a professor of law from Bayero University, Kano, and Imam Ismail Abdulatif, National Missioner, Saadatul Abadiya Organization of Nigeria, emphasized on the importance of the month of Ramadan and the enormous blessings attached to the holy month. They observed that the problem of Nigeria started when people were not allowed to elect their leaders, but their leaders were forced on them, adding that leaders must be representative of the people and act according to the people's needs.
Allah has created us in different tribes and communities, and that it is not which tribe you belong to or which community you come from, but the best among you in his eyes and before him in judgment is the one who is the most fearful of Allah.
Ìgbésí ayé kan tó pàtàkì ní ìlú wa lẹ́yìn tá a bá tọ́jú ara wa tán, tá a jẹun sínú wa, tá a sin Ọlọ́run Ọba wa tán, ìlú wa ló tún kàn.
Highlights of the event were special prayers for the governor and peace in Ogun State. There were also recitations from the Holy Quran by children from different Islamic groups in the state.
For comments, questions, and observations, send a text to 080-9578-9802 or 081-0672-1434, or send an email to mission-to-rebuild with the number 2 at gmail.com. Be a part of rebuilding our beloved Gateway State.
Ọmọ Ògùn, Ìṣẹ̀yà.